Hello everyone, my name is Kurazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. As you can see, we are not at home, and that's because I took a quick morning trip out here to our building materials trader to see if they, well, do you happen to have anything that I'm looking for? If you'll recall, a few episodes ago, we were on the lookout for some red clay shingles, possibly, to put on the front of our little house, our little hobbit hole over here. And Will only had the brown clay shingles, so it has been like a week. Will, do you have what I seek? You do. Oh, and you have plaster at a so-so price. Well, I'm gonna say well. So you have, okay, 9 fired red clay shingles, 2 gears for 9, a supply of 5, a total of 45 gears. That's not a lot of shingles, honestly, dude. That's gonna be basically, well, 44 red shingle slabs. That's probably more than we need. I don't need a ton, but I think I am going to buy out Will's stock here. Buy, and we'll buy. Ho, that feels good. I'm not sure I've ever actually held these in my hand before in Vintage Story. At least not in Survival. I may have last season, may have bought some, I don't recall. But yeah, that feels good to actually have those. I kind of also want to buy some of these, but I'm not sure that I would use them, so I'm going to hold off on that for now. In favor of buying that. Yes, thank you, Will. And you know, I should have brought my saws along. Yeah, I could definitely bring along a Timbron saw next time. And you do take aged crates, but you're not giving a good price for them. Okay, so saws, axes, and aged crates. Not so much those. Or you. Okay, well that is awesome. That is great. Oh boy. And something I've noticed while we were adventuring out here is that I kind of feel like we should have settled out here for one main reason, and that reason is I have still not seen any wolves or bears up here, and that would just be so nice. Unless that's one over here. Is that a wolf over there? Please tell me it isn't. I don't want to suddenly be a liar. Nope, it's just ground. And some bunnies. Anyway, folks, I'm going to run home, and then we're going to go ahead and get this episode started. I'm going to begin by forgetting how to get down out of here. But I'm going to begin by mining out some of the copper that I wanted to do between episodes, but ended up not doing, in favor of making more tools for the episode. And then I'm going to get to work on spooky holes. I'm going to get to work on getting some materials. There isn't a ton that I want to get for the episode, but there are some things that I would like to acquire before we get started. So I think I might do a little bit of a montage while I get those, just a short one, and then we will get into the meat of the episode, which is landscaping. We need to get a bit of landscaping done on at least the eastern half of our house, so that we can have a more presentable entrance. A presentrance, if you will. And then, once that's all said and done, we will have some area for farms, and I would like to try to get our trees, our fruit trees, planted at the same time. And while I'm here, since these are all right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab these on the way. Anyway, everyone, I will see all of you in a little bit when we are prepared to get started building our farms and the entrance to our home. And check it out, folks. Look at this gorgeous stuff right here. What did I say recently about making sure that you keep your eyes open when you're going through places you've been before? You will find all manner of good things you didn't see the first time. I've been through this area like 3 or 4 times coming to and from the building materials trader, and I never spotted this till now. So yes, this is getting added to our collection immediately. And this is right behind our barn too. So close, and yet we hadn't spotted it till now. Alright, an extra half stack. Perfect. Oh my. Okay, so I've tripped over this before, but never noticed that. Is that wild or what? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark this. This is a big one in it. We're gonna do a big old that. Yeah, I'll probably still not notice that on the map. Oh well. Alright everyone, we are back with Bert. Bert is just kind of going crazy around the house. I'm finishing up making some food here. Let's go ahead and tuck a few more of you in here. I have done a few things in the meantime. I've also made some tools in addition to the odds and ends resource gathering we did. I also spent some time, actually this was before today, but I spent some time painting all the bony soil we got a couple episodes ago. And I wanted to go over with you what we got. We got an emerald, some silver, a whole lot of bones, some flax, a piece of copper chain, which we can smash into basically 2 copper ingots worth of nuggets. We got 2 new aged lore books, which I think we will need to read here in a second. Some flint arrowheads, 8 rusty gears, 4 copper spearheads, a temporal gear, which is great, 2 more candles, 9 more copper arrowheads, and 1 more bony ribcage. So, yep, that was a pretty good haul from, I think, about a third of a stack or so of bony soil. But let's see, we have books in here. We have a dark beige, some sort of diary. What happens if I right click this? We got letters, part 2 of 8. Okay. And then we have brick red, which we already have 2 of. Story about Tobias. Reflection, part 3 of 5. Cool. So it looks like the different colored books are actually, yeah, these are actually like sets. So we need to find some new space for all these. Oh, and before I forget, let's read those on screen. I'm not going to read them out loud right now, but we're going to go ahead and read Reflection, which is this one. Go ahead and pause and read if you'd like. And Letters, the second one, right here. And there you go. But with that investigation over and all of our resource gathering done for now, let's go take a look at our canvas over here. And yes, I did basically just shave off the top of this sandstone gravel pit, and we will come through and get the rest of this because we're going to need it at some point. The vision that I have for this is kind of like we're going to be sitting at the center of a little dell. It'll very clearly be like handmade. It won't be a natural depression in the land. But the way that I want it to look is that we're going to have the land come down slowly in like a very slow slope down here in a path and straight to our front door. I was thinking about doing like a windy path, but realistically I think it would make more sense for us to have a straight path out to our farms and to our agriculture buddy, because that's just how a road would be built. We wouldn't build it around things that don't exist. So windy path is kind of out here. I would like there to be, of course, a step up. We're going to have like a little portico here. And I'm probably going to make this like a couple blocks deep, like maybe 2 blocks of standing area and then like 1 block worth of stairs around that. Just so it's, I don't know, interesting. And then I want to have a flat area directly outside of that. Probably something like, I'm going to say at least 8 blocks. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So yes, we'll have a flat area out to about here. That should be good. That'll give us some space to have like a little flower garden and some decorations, and just have a bit of breathing room between our house and where our farms are going to be. And we can call this, I guess, our lawn. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of this dug out. I'm not going to dig all of it out right now, but I will in a minute. I just want to get an idea for how far out this is. Yeah, that should be comfortable. We can even plant like a small tree or 2 here, including maybe some fruit trees. Now, here is where things get a little gnarlier, because I would kind of like to have our bedroom have a window to the actual outdoors, and this is not quite going to cut it. And I think what I'm going to do, though, is that, not today, but what we'll do is we will cut some of this land in here, and we'll actually cut a tunnel, so that we'll have a sort of natural underground area here, where we could have like a little mushroom display, and we actually will have some windows from this room and from this room out into this area. Now on this side, I think what I'm going to do is the bedroom, I do still want to have, some natural light in here. Get stuck in there. Let's just tuck you there. So what I'm going to do is, I think, off of this corner here, I want to probably do like a 2-to-1 angle out in this direction for a little ways. And what I'm going to do with that is we're going to cut away all of the land on this side of it, the south side, and build up a little wall here with a gate in here. Now, this gate might get started today. In fact, I think I'd like to try for it, but I'm not sure we will get the whole thing like covered. Like, we're not going to cover everything here with the dirt and the ceiling because we haven't cut this away. I'm not going to do that today because, well, I already made 3 shovels and I've already burned through one of them digging out gravel, so we're a little low on shovels actually. We need like 3 more for this whole project. But then what I want to do here, once we get to our 8 block barrier, I want to have actually probably 1 more block for a 9th, so we can have like a little fence here. There we go. And then we're going to go up a block, of course, and we're going to go out 7 blocks. And the reason I'm choosing 7 is that we're going to want to have a bit of a fence. And actually, I think we can put these back. Maybe this will be like our stair location. In fact, you know what? That's what we'll do. You'll be our stairs right here. And then we'll have, yes, this berm here. So we'll go out 7 blocks from here. And 7 blocks is because I want to put our farms in here. And I want to have room for a fence, 2 farms, and we're going to do the ring of dirt around the water as usual. And then I'll do a 2nd row of that here, and then we'll go up 1 more block and do it again. And I'm probably going to do it probably on at least 1 full side here. I might do it on this side too, or this side could be like for bees or something else. We'll have to see. But let's do our 7, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, and then we'll have our stairs up right there like that. I realize I put this a bit off center, but that's okay. And I'm thinking that for our path, we are of course going to use the path blocks that I think I just barely touched on a while ago. And so let's go and get some of those ready here, because it might be time for a refresher on them. Let's check our stock of extra stones over here first. Okay, very few stones here, but plenty of dirt. Okay, so stone pipe. I forgot about Bert. Bert. You know, you're a little weird. You could just rest, like sleep, please. Stop freaking me out. This is actually not the first time Bert has surprised me. It's just like, when I forget he's here, yeah, things get weird. Anyway, I don't think we have any path blocks left. I think we used the few that we made. Yes. So, to make our path blocks, we need some dirt. Check. And we need a lot of small stones. We have a lot of chert and a lot of granite, and a lot more chert than granite. So let's go ahead and we're going to grab several stacks of this. Fit one more stack, and there we go. Now there are 3 kinds of path block. First is the full-size path, made by putting 4 stones in a stack on top of some soil, and you'll get then 16 stone paths because you can't stack these higher than 64. So there is that, and these use tons of small stones. So don't throw your small stones away. These paths are actually useful, and you'll see why in a minute. The second kind of path is one where you take soil and you put your stones on either side. And 1 stone on each side will give you a stone path slab. So we'll go ahead and do a bit of that. I'm going to grab a few more out of here. The third kind is where you take some of these and you split them up over top of your soil like so, and you'll get stairs. Now, I'm not planning on using any stairs at the moment, so I'm going to just leave these here. We need a lot of the regular stone paths, and I think we have plenty of the slabs for now. We will need some of them. So we probably should let's do 1 more stack of you, and then let's do a few stacks of this, the granite. Okay, that should do for now. We have 4 stacks of stone paths and 1 stack of stone path slabs. Let's go and get our path started here before we do anything else, just so we have a nice, easy line to refer to while we're building out everything else. Okay, so we're going to need to dig this out a little bit from here. This goes straight to our front door. Perfect. Yeah, let's have it go to the front door. I was going to do maybe an offset design, but I'm not sure that's quite right for what we're doing here. And we'll leave that one there. And leave that one there. And what we're going to do here is get our path blocks out. The slabs go here and here, and here and here. And of course they have like stairs. And the paths go in here. Whoops. Silly me. These should go here. There we go. And then we'll do 1 more set out this way. I'm just going to go ahead and mark the end of this with some dirt. Now you might be wondering, Kurazar, why bother with path? It's very expensive in terms of stones. Well, it actually has a purpose. I don't know if you can see it right now, but we're actually moving 20% faster than we normally do. Let me slide off the path and you'll see. Do you see that? In fact, if you listen closely, our footsteps on the path are actually slightly faster than off the path. Do you hear that? On top of that, running also gets the boost. So having a path between places, although it is slow to build at first, can really speed up your travel, especially when you go somewhere on a regular basis. And I'm thinking that this would be the perfect time to have a path out to our trader. So I'm going to go ahead and actually do that. And I will just leave the trees in place for now. I'll chop them down in a little bit. I just want to get this path out and done. And actually, building path can actually be a, not efficient, but an occasionally lucrative way of finding a little bit of terra preta. Because terra preta can generate not just on hillsides, but also on flat ground, where you might never notice it if it's covered in grass and you're not, chopping the grass down and inspecting every dirt block with the tooltip. So this can be a great way to uncover terra preta, and in the first season, we actually did that a couple times, I think. Maybe just 1, but I think it might have been twice. Now, I'm not sure that we will have enough path to do this whole trail here, but let's do our level best and get as much in as we can. We do have enough. We have plenty, in fact. We can keep going. And there we have it, a path almost out to our agriculture trader. And I think probably another, I'm going to guess 3-ish stacks of stone path should get us the rest of the way there. Alright folks, it is the next day, and I have cleared the path of the oak trees that were previously growing in it. Now, we're not quite done with this path because it's okay. I mean, it's different from the grass, but I kind of find that if you just have the path just in the middle of the grass, it kind of looks like it's overgrown, and I don't want that. I mean, maybe a forest path that's supposed to look overgrown and which is maybe a bit patchy could work, but here, I mean, this is a very well-tended garden. We are hobbits, after all, very purple-dressed hobbits. And one option that we could do here is we could just come along the path and just cut down all the grass on either side of it, and it can look pretty decent. Let's take a look at this after we're done with this little row here. So there we go. We have a bit of a clearing on either side of the path, and that looks pretty good. But personally, I have a bit of a preference for how to line paths properly, and that is going to involve a lot of gravel. And boy, do we have a ton of it, which is good because we're going to go through it like you would not believe. So I'm going to grab a few stacks of this stuff, put away our oak seeds, aka acorns, and what we're going to do here is we are going to come in and pick these up again, and we are going to dig out probably... We'll start from like here, because I kind of feel like we might want to have the path split here. I mean, we can always change it later, so it's not a big deal. We'll come this way, and we're just going to dig this out. And this. And all the way down on both sides, like so. And then we'll come in with the sandstone gravel and just line it with that. And I like to put the sandstone gravel up a block when it is next to a slab. I find it looks a little bit better than having it being on the lower half of the block. And we did this in the first season at Lupine Ridge, but we had limestone gravel. We don't have that luxury right now, and honestly, I'm kind of liking the look of the sandstone. It's very bright. Look how bright that is. The limestone was bright, but it didn't have this sort of nice golden color to it. I think this looks fantastic. And I think it'll look even better once we have some additional decorations and gardens going on here. So I'm going to dig out the rest of this and replace all of it with the sandstone gravel. And I will see all of you when I'm done. And there we go. Not quite the whole way, but next time we do a quarrying run, we'll have enough stone then, hopefully, to finish this out and get that going. And it might be nice to also have a bit of a path heading to the house, the old house. And I'm thinking, rather than just a T connection here, I think it might be cool to have like a little road coming off of here and turning into the house, and then one turning out of the house and going this way in a curve, and then having like a little section here with like trees and maybe some fencing, just something interesting in the middle there. And what I like to do is anywhere there is gravel that would touch air on a side, I like to come in with at least one layer of dirt, sometimes two, and I just like to sort of fill that in, because otherwise it just wouldn't make sense, so the gravel would just spill out into the area around it. But now we have a nice fast path back and forth I'm pretty pleased with. And now I think it's time for us to focus on how we're going to go about doing these farms. Because what I want to do is I want to kind of have our farmland follow the curve of our design, because we do have a sort of circular design. Again, it's not perfect, but I don't want these to just be square, straight farms coming off of here out like this. I think what we'll do is we'll probably have like maybe one or two sets of farmland, and then we'll sort of adjust it by a block or two as need be. Now, I do also think we should probably go ahead and get this process started of getting a line down where our wall is going to be. And so let's do it actually off of the actual corner of the house. I'm not sure why this is sticking out here like this, but it shouldn't be. So we'll start it here like this. Well, you know what, we're going to do a 2-to-1 angle, so we need to fix that a bit. Let's do it like, actually, we'll put you back. You'll be the start of our 2-to-1 angle, and then we'll sort of go like this. Now, I think if we're going to be doing a gate here, we do need to make a concession for how that's going to fit in here. So we might need to have this part just be straight, like that. I don't want the gate to be right here. I want it to be one more block out. So we'll end the gate somewhere up here. Let's go ahead and flatten this out a little bit. Make some more working room for ourselves. So we'll have our gate be these 4 squares here. Here will be the edge. Here will be another edge. And I think what I want to do is between the gate's frame and the wall, so basically right here, I want to have some kind of like see-through, I don't know, grate or grill or portcullis or just something that lets light through into this underground section over here. And so here is the very end of the gate, so we now start our 2-to-1 right here. Now we also need to flatten this out in general, so we're going to go ahead and take this down. Yeah, I think this is going to work out pretty nicely when it's all said and done. Now, as far as our farms, I don't want them to be butted up right against the gravel here. I think what we'll do is we'll put them... is 1 block away far enough? Or should we go for 2? You know what? Maybe we do want them butted up against here because, you know, we're hobbits. We're going to make efficient use of our space. So maybe we do want to have our fences running right along in the grass here. Or what will be grass eventually. I think that's what we'll do. Let's go for it. Alright, everyone. There we have the start of our little landscaped area here, with some farms planted with flax and a bit of rice and some spelt. And these should grow pretty quickly, especially if it rains or if we come back with our watering can. We can get these growing at more than 100%, up to 120% here. So, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. There are a couple spots that are uneven here, but I think their unevenness actually helps hide some other oddnesses, like that join right over there, which would look a little funny if it wasn't actually uneven. So I am pretty happy with this. Let's go make it morning, get away from this medium rift kind of evening, and then let's talk about what to do with these fruit trees. I want to get them planted and get them growing so we can have some easy to access gobs and gobs of fruit. Maybe next year, most likely the year after. See you all in the morning. Alright folks, we are back, and Bert there is washing the window. I think what I wanted to do next is I want to get another path going here, because I'm building in my head a more of a vision, a clearer vision for what I want to do with this. And I think in the long run, I want to have a path that comes up here and leads to the kind of top side of our little hill here. And I do think that we are going to definitely have an underground area here, but it's definitely going to be artificial. And I want to have like a staircase leading up to here somewhere, and I might even have an extra door, maybe into the Dr. Octagonopus room here. I'm not sure yet. And I was thinking, what better way of lining this path, and maybe a bit of this path here, than with some fruit trees and maybe some lupins. So, if I look in the actual correct bin here, we have 8 pear tree cuttings, 9 pink apple trees, and 3 cherry tree cuttings. Now, although I was excited about harvesting that first cherry tree, I don't like cherries because they're not particularly nutritious. They only give half as much satiation as basically any other fruit, and they don't last very long. They only keep as long as most berries. However, apples and pears, now these have some staying power, because they provide the more typical 80 satiation, and they can store for very, very long times. I'm talking on the order of 100 days or more. So I think we're going to go with the apples and the pears, and maybe we'll decorate with the cherry trees at some point later, but that's not a guarantee. I also did find in this box some more stones, so I have a bit more path at our disposal, and we're going to go and put some of that path where it belongs here, after I get another spare shovel. So yes, right here, I'm thinking it could be fun to have a path that comes like around here. I'll probably cut this down a little bit and have it kind of loop around up to here and go into whatever we have up here. It's probably going to be like greenhouses and then like a windmill, and I just think that would be really cool. So yeah, let's get some of that going. We're going to move some of this dirt over to here, and then we'll get our path in. And there we go. We now have a beautiful path that leads currently to nowhere. And I did leave this sort of open-ended on purpose because we will come back in later, and once we've figured out where our windmill is going and where our upstairs entrances will be, then we will finish out this path. Now, as far as these trees are concerned, so you'll see that I've left a bit of a gap, a bit of a yard or a lawn here from our fences to the gravel. That's because these trees need a little bit of space, not a ton. They don't get huge, but they can end up being as wide as 5 blocks and as tall as 7 blocks, maybe 6 blocks. What I'm going to do here is I'm only going to plant a few of each tree type. We don't need a ton of these trees because these will absolutely overproduce for us. In fact, we probably only need maybe a grand total of 3 or 4 trees to completely fill our fruit needs forever. Now, one catch is that we are going to have to probably replant several of these because these only have a 40% chance of growing if we plant them in the ground. So we're going to go like that. And there we will have a 40% chance there at the top. You can see that of surviving and turning into a tree eventually. So we'll go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 1 for good luck. Do we put you here? No, we'll put you here instead. And luckily you can get these back while they are still little cuttings. There we go. And then we'll just tuck 1. Let's see, so we did go 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll just tuck you like here. Yeah, that'll do. So we will come back, and if these turn gray, it means they've died. And what we'll do is we'll just chop them up and plant them again. And luckily we have plenty of saplings or cuttings to do that with. Now for over here, I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. I think what I'll do is, on this side, I'm going to have these trees kind of line the path down to our house. So that does mean we will need to do a little bit more landscaping. And I'm just going to do a tiny bit more of it here to prepare this area so we can plant our other trees along here, maybe even a little bit farther from the path. So let's get our shovel out once again and get to work. Yes, very nice. This will do perfectly. So let's get our pear tree cuttings. I think this time we're going to put them a little farther back from the road. And maybe even put like a little fence. Well, I guess a fence that sort of matches this one could be nice, but maybe just a bit of a spottier one. So at minimum, we could plant them here. That might be a little far. Let's go 1 more block in. And about like that. And I'm not going to place these like super well organized on purpose. These trees have grown kind of the way that they want to. Let's just move you off a bit by a block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, you know, I will move you back 1. Just to look a little bit more tame. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do on the 6th block here as well. And that should do. These 6 trees, assuming all of them survive, and we will keep replanting them, but once they're all fully grown, these 6 trees will definitely provide all the fruit that we will ever need. So I'm not super concerned about planting more, aside from as for decoration. But, like I said, let's come in here with a little bit more fence, maybe like, I don't know, just a little bit along here. Not quite even either, like that. And then we'll do like a little bit here. Keep the kids from like, you know, playing and jumping off the ledge here. And then, yeah, that might be pretty good. That might be good. Let's leave it at that for now. And I am thinking that this fencing might be a little bit much for over here. I might end up replacing the fence along the top there with something else. Maybe some of the stone, dry stone fence we have, because we have plenty of that. That might look a little bit better than having all of this sort of same texture everywhere. I'm not sold on it yet, but let's go grab some and find out. Alright, let's get these chopped down. And get these put up. Alright. And what do we think? I think it's dark. Let's go throw our lantern up here temporarily. And yes. Yes, that looks a lot better. I could almost go for maybe a different color up there, but we happen to have andesite today. I could go for maybe something dark, like a slate or a shale or basalt at some point. We do have some slate nearby we can go dig up. I also might want to replace this chert with something else. Maybe another gravel, but also maybe just some cobblestone. I'm not sure that the gravel is really quite doing it for me. We could, of course, also just use some more of the dry stone, maybe a different color down here too. That would sort of give a nice, you know, cobblestone-ish texture. But maybe I'll go and get some, I don't know, claystone or maybe even bauxite. I think claystone, because bauxite might look a little too orange, especially mixed with the pine here. But the claystone's a nice warm brown that's not too orangey. I don't know. We'll have to see, but that is going to be a story for a different day. And that, everyone, of course, is because it is time for us to bring the episode to a close. I hope you enjoyed this bit of landscaping, and I hope you learned something about landscaping and terraforming in Vintage Story in general. If you're coming from the other block game where things are really fast and easy to do, well, it's a bit different here. For that reason, I usually recommend holding off on a lot of terraforming until you're at least solidly in the Bronze Age, but preferably into the Iron or even the Steel Age if you're doing large-scale projects. But I am really happy with how things are coming along here. Even on the map, we have all of our things are sort of coming into place, and this is starting to remind me of the buildings and the roads at Lupine Ridge, albeit with a sort of orangier look to it. But yes, it'll be fun to watch all of this come together and watch our roads grow and all of our buildings grow and sort of populate the area. That is going to be really exciting to watch. Anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I had a blast coming up with all of these new farms and getting the trees and just kind of getting the feel of our small little Hobbit homestead here. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.